হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি জাজির রহমান। সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। Welcome you all in the weekly international webinar WIW organized by HRDI. You all know HRD is working to enhance and enrich the skills of students, teachers, and professionals. Today we have a session on soft skill development and implementation at work. And to facilitate the session, we have with us Iftekhar Amin Chowdhury. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Judge. It's nice to have you here. I'm very pleased to have the session with HRDA right at this moment. Although I have far away, I'm probably so far away, but it's still because of this digital era, it's very easy for us to communicate. So I will start shortly, but if Ejaz, you want to say something, then I will take the floor, no problem.
Right, sir. I'll take 2 minutes more, and thank you for joining with us. And definitely, this is an advantage due to technology, due to new era. We have got you. Otherwise, হয়তো অনেকদিন পরে আপনাকে পেতাম. So thank you for joining. Iftekhar Amin Chowdhury, sir, I will talk about little about sir. Sir is expert in international business operations, corporate trainer, and management consultant. He is basically training and facilitating training these from last 12 years, especially on strategic management and change management. And Sar is joining today with us from Sweden. And his 12 years of practical and hands-on experience to facilitate the change management concept and skill development for existing human resources for national and international corporations, especially in Southeast Asia region. Iftekhar Amin sir professionally believes in a motto is to exemplify the values of respect, responsibility, discovery, knowledge sharing, and maintain in a high personal standard of excellence. So we are very much delighted to have with us Iftekhar Amin Chowdhury. Sir will be facilitating the session. After the session, I will come back again to have a question answer session with live audiences. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ejaz. It's my privilege to share my experience and my knowledge, whatever I have, and I always want to transfer this to the young generations. That will be very good for me. And of course, if it is from our beloved Dhaka International University and the Bangladesh, then obviously it's an extra privilege. So let's start the session at first. I'm going for my slides to share with you, and I'll talk about something how we can actually develop the skills, mostly the soft skills, because nowadays, in this world, soft skill has the increasing demand over on hard skills. I will talk in details why actually this is most important right at this moment. So the session is called Soft Skills Development and Implementation and Work on Job. And obviously, this is one of the high demanding, I can say, in the training materials for all over the world right at this moment. So let's go for the points what we want to discuss today. First of all, what do you understand by the term soft skills? We will talk about that little bit. Then we'll move on to the attributes, what actually included in the soft skills. Then why soft skills are essential for developing the career and job progression nowadays. Demand of job soft skills at this pandemic situation. What are the soft skills most demandable in post-COVID era? And how we can improve our soft skills to make ourselves better for the job market. So these are the main points we are going to discuss in brief. But of course, after the session, if you have any specific question, you can ask me and we'll clarify those things. I hope everyone can hear and everyone can see my slides. Is it okay? Just for reconfirmation. Is it okay? Ripon, is it okay?
Okay, sir. 100%.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So let's go. What about the soft skills actually? So from the definition of UNESCO, we have found that they actually categorize soft skills as the patterns of thought, feelings, and behaviors of course, it depends on the person, how a person actually think, how a person can feel, and how a person can actually behave towards the situation. So that will reflect the soft skills of that specific person. If we go for JT, they said this is a set of transferable skills like common sense, interpersonal skills, leadership skills, and so on. And if we go for Oxford, they say this is the competencies that employees possess associated with activities such as communication, problem solving, and team working. So if we elaborate everything together, there are many terms and many, we can say, the philosophy behind this soft skills terminology. However, for everything, if we consider, we'll come up with some few things what is really very effective in terms of developing soft skill at this 2020 year or onwards. And obviously, you can see the last definition by Indeed. They said abilities that relate to how you work and how you interact with other people. So if we consider all the definitions from these different sources, then you can find one of the things is very common. That is the personal characteristics. And soft skills actually determine the personal characteristics.
So
Why
sorry
we
for the
can,
interruption.
yep,
Slides are not moving. We are watching the first slide.
you are watching, you are not in the soft skill slide, or is
No,
still
sir.
on
It
the,
is in the first slide.
okay, just a moment, I check for you. Now you can see.
No, not at all, sir. It is stuck on the first slide. No movement in the screen. So, sir, I will suggest you to stop the presentation and share again. Sometime it happens.
Okay, I stop sharing.
Yes, sir.
Then-
Yes, sir. Now slides are moving. We can see your slide. It is on discussion points, right, sir?
yeah, this is, now we are in discussion points. Can you see the movement in discussion points?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's coming, right? Okay, can you see all the discussion points? Hello.
Yes, sir. It was in the screen in the discussion points. Can
Okay,
you move
now you can
slides right
see
now?
the next move. Yeah, now you can see the next slides. Can you
Sir,
see
আপনি কি
all the
এখন চেঞ্জ করছেন নেক্সট স্লাইডে?
আমি অলরেডি চেঞ্জ
এখন
করেছি, it's in the soft skills definition slides. Can you see that?
Uh, well, the Human Resource Development Institute team is talking about start change করলেই change হবে. Can you ensure that where it is now? Because I can see only the first slide right now from my panel and from, yes, sir, there is a change right now. It's
Is
moving.
it okay? Now it's
Yes.
moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see the soft skills now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now soft skills, yellow color. I guess you can
Yeah,
move now.
okay, so you can see all the definitions here actually, what I put. Can you see all the 5 definitions from different sources?
Right, sir.
Okay, so what I was actually summarizing from these 5 definitions or all the main points, soft skills actually depends on the personal characteristics and personal thinking. Like, for example, if I can say, what is the difference between hard skill and soft skill? Hard skill, you can actually improve yourself by studying, by going for the lab work or any types of real life work experience. But soft skills you have to develop by yourself because it belongs in your mental state. So from all these five definitions, one thing is very common you can find, that is the ability of the person who can actually interact with others in terms of different situations. So it may be your it may be you can use your leadership skill, maybe you can use your interpersonal skills, maybe problem solving skills, or maybe your inner feelings, whatever it is. So everything actually comes in the soft skills measurement. So if we see actually what are the soft skills right at this moment are very important, we can see the 10 soft skills, which is categorized as the most important soft skills of a person. Can you see now the slides? Is it okay? The slides are visible. Ajaz, are you here? Ajaz, can you see my slides now? Shipon, can you see? I cannot get the response from you all.
So, now, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Go on.
Can you see the slides?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So if anything, you just let me know, okay? Okay, in the
Sure, sir,
soft,
sure.
yeah, in soft skills, you can see there are mainly 10 soft skills what we actually consider. So first, we start from team spirit, empathy, personality, assertiveness, creativity, flexibility, stress management, motivation, self-confidence, growth mindset. These are the fixed 10 what we need to develop to accustom ourselves with the recent changes in the world. However, I'm not going for all the 10 in details, but from these 10, we can find something which is very important nowadays. We are concerned about, that is intelligent quotient, that is we consider it IQ, and emotional quotient, that is actually considered EQ. So with these two combined, we actually want to use in our soft skills category right now, which is called emotional intelligence. That is EI, what we actually consider. So that is very much important for nowadays to improve your soft skills capacity. However, whenever we think about this emotional intelligence quotient, and as well as all other 10 perspective of the soft skills, everything actually comes down to one soft skill, that is called communication. Why? Because whatever it is, wherever you are, and whatever you do, it doesn't matter as long as you cannot communicate properly what you want to deliver to the to the specific perspective. So that's why we say all the soft skills come into one point, and that is the communication itself. Okay, so if I go for very shortly, what is team spirit? Team spirit is you have the capability to work in a team, because nowadays the world is like that. They work in a team. It's not individualistic world right now. So you have to know how to accustom yourself with the team, and you have to go with the team. Empathy, we are not going to talk about the sympathy anymore in this world. That means you cannot be sympathize for anything what you feel bad or what you don't feel good. However, you have to be empathetically involved. That means you have to feel it, and you have to go and join with the people whatever they require, not only the words but involvement yourself in a physical way. Personality, that is your thinking, how you think about the situation, how you think about a person, how you think about the organization, and what's your personality you have that actually deliver the results to the organization. So that personality need to be developed. Assertiveness in a very one word, if I say, you need to be very much positive whenever you work in anywhere. Obviously, you will face so many difficulties, you will face so many problems, but whatever the situation is, you have to look behind on that, and you have to look forward for the positiveness of this situation. So that is, we actually considered assertiveness. Creativity. Obviously, in this world, you know, everyone is doing the same job, but among those people, somebody comes forward to show something which is little bit different, and that is called the creativity of the person. How you think creatively, and what is your creativity, and how you use your creativity to innovate something new which will be beneficial for the organizations or the society. Flexibility, that is another way we can say this is the adaptability. Like, you have to be flexible with every situation. uh, it doesn't mean that whatever you are doing right at this moment and you have to be in this moment always. Probably there are some unexpected situation may arise, but you have to know how to involve yourself with that unexpected situation and be flexible to modify yourself to make sure you are going to have that capability to enjoy the changes. Stress management. uh, Life is, I always say, it's not stressful if you don't think it's stressful. However, obviously you have to manage some sorts of difficult situation. You have to manage so many activities in your life. So if you want to go up, if you want to go forward, if you want to climb the ladder, the first thing is how you can managing those stresses. If you are very calm and cool on the stress situations, obviously you will be far more ahead of anything, and obviously you can grab the situation very fast. Motivation, in that case, I always call that is self motivation rather than motivation from other sides, because if you are not self motivated enough, and if anybody wants to motivate you heart and soul, but if you are not aware about that motivation, it will not work in you. So ultimately, make sure you will be motivated by yourself, and that is very important to go forward. Self confidence, but not be overconfident. Remember that self confidence is self confidence comes from your knowledge, from your experience. If you work on anything, if you read anything, if you try anything, obviously that will give you the confidence that you can do something else better. But if you never do anything, but you say, yes, I'm very much confident I can do that, that will be actually considered overconfident. That means you did not have that experience, but you are talking about these things that you can finish it very confidently. So don't do that. At first, you have to try to gain the knowledge, and you have to make yourself up to that level by which your confidence level will be increased. Then, obviously, the last one is the growth mindset. Uh, is very important right at this moment, because we have the people who have the fixed mindset, and we have the people who wants to change, who wants to go beyond that fixed thinking. Like, for example, if there is one static situation you are working, and you are already habituated with that situation, and you know this is going to happen every time, but obviously the situation may demand something else in future, and you have to change it, and you have to accustom with the new things. So if your mindset is not growing, or we can say if your mindset is not growth mindset, so you cannot actually go ahead with those changes. So our mindset need to be growth mindset rather than fixed mindset. So these are the 10 skills we need to develop in ourselves, and I tell you in later that how you can do it. But obviously, one thing is very important for you. As long as you are not going to develop these soft skills, hard skills will be implemented very difficult. If you want to implement hard skills, it will be very difficult as long as you are not going to develop your soft skills. Okay, so now we come to the intelligence quotient and emotional quotient. Intelligence is the learning, whatever you can learn from your surroundings, whatever you can learn from your books, whatever you can learn from your study. everything will come under intelligence quotient, which is very important, because if you don't study, if you don't learn, obviously you cannot apply those things in real life. As well as nowadays in 20th century, 21st century, we are very much obsessed with emotional quotient. Why? Because the knowledge you can gain from somewhere else, but emotion is going to be built from yourself. And that emotion actually works parallelly with your knowledge. And these soft skills, whatever we're talking right at this moment, mostly in this pandemic situation, this emotional quotient actually works in a better way rather than the intelligence quotient. But of course, you need to combine these two, because without your knowledge and without your emotion, you cannot go further. That's why we always say, don't go with your brain only, or don't go with your heart only. Take your brain and heart together. So whenever you can take both, then you can actually gain the success. And everything, whatever we learn from here, there is the only one way to transcribe those things to outside world, and that is the communication. If you know everything, but if you don't know how to deliver, that learning is not effective. At the same time, if you do so many things but you cannot possess your creativity, possess your intellectual ability to outside through communication, it is not going to be evaluated. So ultimately, whatever the soft skills you are going to develop, make sure you can communicate it to the right place, to the right person, to the right time. Otherwise, this will not be actually workable in the job market or in your career progression. Okay, after that, we'll move why soft skills are essential right at this moment. I just take a short statement. Ejaz, is it okay now? Can you see the slides? Or Shipon, can you see the slides?
Right, sir. It's fine. We can see and we
Okay,
can
thank
hear
you
you.
very much. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, why soft skills are essential for us? There are some quotation I actually take from different sources. What actually give you the confidence rather than I'm telling by myself that okay, there is um, a strong points why actually we need to develop our soft skills. If you see the statement, if here it's written like that, I'm not going to read the whole sentence, but just going to read the marking statements. Soft skills which cannot yet be replicated by machines. So one of the main point nowadays, we know we are transforming our job scenario or job situation into a automated situation. And most of the time, even in Sweden, I visit so many places, and I have seen that even the human resource department is controlled by some sorts of machine. They actually prepare everything, and there will be only one person who actually modify other activities and give the statement or give the coding to the machine, and machine is doing the job. However, one thing machine cannot replicate, that is the soft skills. Hard skills can be replicated by the machine. They can do you technical job, but they cannot use your emotion. They cannot use your inner feelings, because they are not the human being. So right at this moment, because this is the transformation era, we are moving towards the machine economy. So the best thing is, if you want to survive in this competitive world, you need to develop your soft skills which cannot be replicated by the machine. Second thing, what Deloitte actually reported, soft skill intensive occupations will account for 2/3 of all jobs by 2030. That means the renowned research organizations, Deloitte, they actually found by their research that the soft skill intensive occupations that will cover 2/3 of the job market by 2030. What does it indicate actually? It indicates that you are the person who has the soft skills, very good soft skills. You can actually control the 2/3 of the job market, because another 1/3 of the job market will be controlled by the machines. And those machines will be controlled and monitored and maintained by you. So that's why there is nothing to be said that machine is going to take over the world. Actually, it's not true. The truth is machine will take over the world because of the betterment of the result. However, those results will be monitored and controlled by the people who has the soft skill, uh, and who are going to control that soft skill intensive occupations. And you can see the last statement, they said hiring employees with more soft skill could increase revenue by more than $90,000 in a year. That means if any organizations, they actually emphasize to hire soft skilled people, that will create more revenue, considering the business whatever actually not going to control by the soft skill people. So these are the few points what actually shows that how essential it is to develop your soft skills at this era. Now, Forbes, the world business magazine. They are the number one business magazine in terms of rating the companies and their work related materials. They come up with the analysis and they say in today's extremely competitive remote job, you are very. I think you are already understand what is remote job is. Remote job is what we are doing right now. We are not actually working in the office right at this moment. We are actually working from the home, and you have to control all the activities whatever you're supposed to do whenever at your office. So that is the remote job marketplace. We call this the remote job marketplace. So in this today's extremely competitive job market, this remote job marketplace, many countries will possess similar technical competencies. There's no doubt about that. Everyone who are working in this world, the in terms of technical knowledge, in terms of the technical competency, everybody is almost similar. So now the question is who is going to survive and who is going to develop if everybody is the same in the technical competency. So that's why soft skills play the role. So that's why they said, Forbes said, this is not so. Soft skills are what can set you apart. So the person who has the high level of soft skills, they are going to actually control the market. You have the technical skill and you are a very good soft skills. So obviously you can overcome all the barriers what you can face in today's world. So remember, soft skills plays a vital role in terms of grabbing the job market. However, you always remember one more thing, that without technical skill also soft skill never work. So it goes together. But of course, because technical skill can be developed and trained everyone through the organizations, through the school, through the universities, through the workplaces. But soft skills, it cannot be trained or cannot be developed through those places. So it's actually depends on you how you can do that. So now one of the global talent trends 2020 LinkedIn, they actually shows the three trends transforming your workplace nowadays. You can see the 91% actually soft skills. So to transforming your workplace to the new era in this 21st century and in this COVID-19 situation or post COVID-19 situation, soft skill will play the 91% role. Work flexibility 72% and pay transparency 53%. So ultimately it shows that 91%, that means we can say more than 90% actually uh, working ability will be controlled by the soft skills people, and that is going to transform your workplace into the new era. If you go to the next slide, you can see it's more important to hire for. That means whenever we are hiring people or whenever any organizations they are going to hire the people, they consider 30% soft skills, 62% is the combined of soft skill and hard skills, and 8% hard skills. So if we combine 62 plus 30, that means actually 92% soft skills are important in terms of to getting a job from um, from nowadays, or you can say or onwards. So remember, so hard skills will be there, and soft skills play the role over there too. And if bad hires, like the person to whom I hire and they are not performing very good, and that is called bad hire. And why bad hire happens? Because they have found that 45% soft skills are not there in their recruitment, or 44% soft plus hard skills are not there, and 11% hard skills. That means combined 89% say bad hires typically lack of soft skills. That means whenever we hire a person and we failed to prove that his productivity level is up to the standard, and it happens for 89% bad hire. And most importantly, if you go here, you can see that 80% say soft skills are increasingly important to company success. So whenever you are in the business organizations, whenever we are doing our work, the most important thing is what we are going to perform inside the organization. Whether our contribution has the impact on the company's productivity or not. And soft skills plays the 80% role on company's success. So I think there is no doubt why nowadays these soft skills come to the front to all the pictures. And last of all, I can show you one of the world graph, that is the importance of this around the world. If you can see clearly, it's not that much clear, but I can see nowadays, if you go at the last one also here, Northern Europe, they also consider 82% soft skills in terms of the work placement. If we go to the Southeast Asia, where I mostly work last few years, they actually consider 95% soft skill people in their workplace. And if you go to China, the leading economic country, USA, they also more than 90%. So ultimately, what it shows by the research and by different organizations chart, they shows that if you want to expedite your career, if you want to harness your knowledge and talent, you have to have the proper soft skills for those specific jobs. And you can only determine that if you can grab it. If you cannot develop your soft skills, ultimately in one point of time, you will not be anywhere in the marketplace. So I hope you understand why soft skills are very essential nowadays. Now, so based on the discussion, now at this moment we are in the lockdown situation almost all over the world, and we are actually in a situation where people cannot move, people cannot even do their daily works in a very normal way. So that's why nowadays we actually call this one as a new normal life. This is not the normal what we actually believe that should be normal, but this is a new normal life for us, and we need to embrace that. So we don't have any other options to bypass those things. So in this lockdown and soft skills, we have found that the Robert Half, that is the one of the leading consultancy firm in the world, which is based on UK, they say 1 in 3 employers are currently redesigning roles in direct response to the impact of the pandemic. So that means 29% of the employers, they're actually redesigning the roles for the employers. That means how they are going to work. And we know how we are going to work right at this moment. You see, when we actually conducted the training in physical atmosphere, now we are doing the training in an online atmosphere. So that means we are redesigning our roles to support the situation, how we can actually give the better outcome. So one third, one in 3 employers actually doing this redesigning. And while digital and technical capabilities remain critical to post-lockdown recovery, 2/5, that means 41% of executives say soft skills will be key to dealing with ongoing COVID-19 uncertainty. So then in this uncertain situation, an unexpected situation, and we don't know how long it will continue. We don't know whether it will continue another 1 year, another 2 years, another 3 years. We don't know, because it's very unpredictable right at this moment. However, if we consider the executives' point of view, they said 41% of executives, they said So soft skills will be the key to deal with this ongoing COVID-19 uncertainty. That means whatever the situation it is, it doesn't matter. If you have the proper soft skills of the job, you will be survivable. Otherwise, obviously, it will be very difficult for you to survive at this competitive era where all the jobs are in uncertain situation right at this moment. And if you go through the Economic Forum 2020 reports, so you can find they have written the future human skills will be vital to success. Actually, human skills is nothing but it's a soft skills because we know the soft skills actually that is a mental state. The soft skill actually works within yourself, and whatever skills you are providing to the world or providing to the job market, that is your skill. That is the human skills. So ultimately, if we consider all the perspective, one of the point is very clear to us that soft skills plays a vital role to survival in this new pandemic situation. And obviously, I told you earlier also, you need the technical skill, you need the knowledge, but that's not enough. Ultimately, if you cannot pursue your soft skills in a better way, you cannot be sustained in this competitive world. So now we go to the C. What are the most in demand soft skills for 2021 and post COVID situation? We know there are 10, we already find there are 10 soft skills, which is very important. After that, we come up with the emotional intelligence quotient, that is another one. And ultimately that goes onto the communication. However, from those 10, 11, 12 soft skills, we are coming up with few which is very important for this post COVID situation. The first one is adaptability. Adaptability means flexibility. I told you earlier. That means you have to have capability to adapt in any situation, whatever actually coming in front of you. That means you are in that state that it doesn't matter whatever the situation is, I can perform. So that mentality needs to grow, and that can be grown only within yourself. So you have to be adaptable with the situation, by which it doesn't matter whatever the situation you will confront in future. You are going to adapt yourself. You are going to mold yourself to make sure you can accustom with the situation very fast. Creativity, creativity and innovation. So if you have the creative mind, obviously you do the work in a very systematic way. But sometimes we can find few people, they can come up with their own creative idea how we can make it better, how we can make it more productive. So every organization, they always look for the people who are creative enough and who can actually innovate something new by which the company can progress compared to their competitor. So that creative mind is very important. So you have to develop that creativity skill. And obviously, creativity does not mean that you will be the scientist. Creativity does not mean that you are going to innovate something very new. No, it may be the changes the situation. In the situation, how you can utilize the opportunities and come up with a better idea by which that will affect the organization positively. That is creativity. So as a person, if you use your brain always, if you think always, if you open your mind always, if you consider all the perspectives properly, obviously your creative mind will be developed. So that is important in terms of today's business world. Then growth mindset, that we told in the first second slide also. Growth mindset is you have to have the mindset that will grow always. You cannot think negatively, and obviously if there is something negative happen, you have to find the positive side of it and you have to work on that. So growth mindset always believe that there is something positive is going to happen in future, and you are the person who will determine how you can make it happen, and your growth mindset will help you to develop yourself. Like just for an example, you are facing a very difficult situation in the organizations and it's very difficult to survive for you, but you know there's something you can do which may create the better opportunity to survive in this organization. So you have to work on that, and that is called growth mindset. That means you are not stopped by seeing those negative things, you are not stopped by seeing all the difficulties, you are not stopped by seeing all the obstacles. Whatever you are seeing, that is by removing those unexpected situation, unexpected overcomings, shortcomings, you will go further. So that is called growth mindset. So that soft skill is very important for you. Emotional intelligence, whatever we talk already, actually this will be emotional. You see, in one side of the brain, that is all technical knowledge, you can see all the mechanical things, and another side you can see all the mental things, that is the feelings, that is love, that is the empathetic value. So you have to combine both. You have to have the technical knowledge, materialistic knowledge, as well as you have to be a human being, as a soft-hearted person, as a person who actually value others, as a person who actually uh, consider others as a human. So you have to combine both. That is called emotional intelligence. So whenever you're in the organizations, that harmony need to be there, and people are looking for this emotional intelligence people right at this moment, rather than either intelligence or fully emotional quotient. So you have to combine both too. Critical thinking ability, that is one of the most important right at this moment, because we can think, and we can think for the judgment, we can think for the result, but before you're going to judge anything, or before you're going to take the decision, or before you are going to find the results, one of the most important thing is your thinking capability, your thought process. What is the thought process? That means you have to take all the consideration before you're taking any decision. That is called critical thinking capability. That means it doesn't mean that you are going to criticize something. No, it means that you are actually taking all the corners of the point, and you are considering all the pros and cons of the situation, and then you are going to take the decision. That decision will be better compared to any other decision whenever you are taking the decision by critical thinking process. If you only see one side, and if you oversee another side, probably the decision will not be good. So critical thinking, why it comes into the limelight right now, because this is the situation of unexpected outcomes. Right at this moment, nobody can say what will happen today. So at this moment, whatever decision you are taking, that plays a vital role for the organization's survival. So ultimately, if you have the critical thinking ability, you can foresee what may happen tomorrow. If it is not going to happen the right way, although you are ready to take the challenge, because you already come up with your decision in so many ways by which you can survive yourself, you can fight with the unexpected situation, and that only possible if you go for the critical thinking process. So ultimately, whatever we have found, it comes to one point, that is the communication. So if you know how to write, but if you don't know how to write in a proper way, you cannot communicate properly. If you have all the information in your brain, but if you don't know how to transform this information to the person in terms of if you want to convey any message, that will not work anymore. If anybody wants to say something and you are listening, but actually you are not understanding whatever he is saying, that means there is no communication at all. So why I'm talking about that, because every soft skills, the end point is the communication. Whenever you want to apply your soft skills strength in the workplace or in the job market, ultimately you have to communicate this to the right place, and obviously that is very important. So if you can develop this skill, communication skill, and you have other soft skills in you, what is necessary to survive or to grow in your profession, in your career, or in the job market, then obviously you don't need to worry about this pandemic situation. Because if there is one person to survive, you are the person who will survive, and that is the thing you have to develop. you have to understand one thing very well, that if nobody in this world cannot do anything, I'm the person who can do everything. And obviously that is very important, and that only come whenever you have the technical knowledge as well as you have developed your soft skills in terms of the organizational needs and demands. So at the end, almost, how to improve your soft skills, because I say there is nothing like there is a book you can read or you can develop. No, you cannot do that. There is no laboratory work where you can go and do the research and you can develop your soft skill. It's not possible also. So what are the ways? First thing, participate in self-reflection. What is a self-reflection? I always tell everybody, whenever we are in a training or any classroom activities, you are the person who knows you very well. Nobody else in this world. So self-reflection is you, that you have identified what are the lackings you have and what are the strengths you have. Whatever the lackings you have, try to improve those lackings. And whatever the strengths you have, try to use those strengths. Okay, that is called participate in self-reflection. Now, how you can go for those to how you can overcoming those weaknesses? Look for online or physical training. Obviously, that is the place where you can train yourself. But training does not mean this 3-hour session, this 1-hour session. You can come out from this 1-hour session, you can come out from this 3 hours training, but you have to apply it regularly in your daily activities. That is called the proper training. So, but to get the guideline, to know how you can develop it, you have to attend those online or physical training activities. Then you have to apply those in your real life situation. Next, observe others. Obviously, in this world, you have your mentor, you know somebody who are doing very good in your field. So observe them, what they do actually, what are the points they are always capitalized from others, and what actually they want to develop themselves to make themselves better from today. So observe them, follow them, then you can utilize it in your own life. And practice. That is the only thing you have to do. Practice, practice, and practice. And I always say practice. I always actually deny those on practice makes a man perfect. I always say perfect practice makes a person perfect. So ultimately, whatever you practice, make sure your practice is perfect enough to make yourself perfect. Okay. So if you want to improve your soft skills, it's not a one day game. It's a continuous game. So if you perform these things every day, every night, every time, one day you can find that whatever the shortcomings you had before, you are now overcoming those shortcomings very fast. So this is the way you can actually develop your soft skills. Okay, in our last slides, I have something, 2 points to note for you. The first thing, soft skills are essential for building the career in any professional atmosphere. It depends what type of profession you are doing, what type of job you are doing. Based on the job demand, based on the organizational perspective, you have to develop your soft skills. All soft skills cannot be required in all the job category. And again, some soft skills are very much important in some of the job categories. So you have to identify what are the soft skills you need to develop. Soft skills alone cannot determine the prosperity without the help of hard skills and technical knowledge. So don't ignore hard skills also. Don't ignore the technical knowledge also. That's also very much important. So soft skills plays a vital role, but it cannot go alone. So you have to develop your hard skills and technical knowledge too. As we transition to a post-pandemic world, now is the time to shift and focus on developing both the hard and soft skills that will make a difference. So if you want to be the unique person, if you want to be the only one survival in this post-pandemic world, in terms of your job, in terms of your career, please combine both soft and hard skills together. And last of all, need to gain more knowledge about digitization and technological automation. You will learn yourself about soft skills. You will develop you will learn about the hard skills. You will develop your soft skills, as well as try to gain more knowledge about the digitization and technological automation. Because although probably you are not from science background, probably you are not working on anything which is actually scientific, which lead to the scientific transformation. However, in this world, to survive yourself, it is important to know about those scientific measurements, like how digitization is going to work, how the technological automation is going to work. So that's why the most important artificial intelligence is coming towards the new era. So it's nothing. You can just study. You can just involve yourself. Somehow you can learn those things, because these are very important to survive in future. So not only our book language, not only our business language, not only our economics language, not only our physics knowledge, it will work all together nowadays. So we are the global person, we are the global citizen, we are the global, you are working in a global marketplace, workplace. So ultimately you have to know everything. But ultimately it is important to develop the soft skills for the survival, because I already consider that you have the very good technological knowledge. I already consider that you already doing your bachelor, you're doing your masters, and you will come up with it as a graduate by getting all the knowledge from your university and your surroundings. However, soft skills, it depends on you. So that's why we are more concerned about soft skills development rather than those knowledge. But those knowledge will automatically actually going inside you, and soft skills you need to develop by seeing the new changes of the world. So that's all from me today. Although it's a very short presentation, but I hope I can give you the little bit uh, hints how the world is going forward right at this moment. And I hope you will listen that, and you will try to gain more information from your surroundings. And obviously for the survival, your soft skills are really very important. So don't forget about that. Thank you very much. Izzat.
Thank you, sir. Sir, am I audible? Can you hear me clearly?
I'm hearing you clearly, no worries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for emphasizing on a few points I have noted down. I'll just recap very quickly. You have showed 9, 10 soft skill important. Over there, you mentioned about emotional intelligence, especially we call it EQ right now. And you also emphasized on empathy, that we need to understand not from our intelligence, from our brain, rather than we need to connect our heart. We need to feel others. We talked about difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset, which has been recently very buzzword, who developed is the Carol Duke, one of the psychologists from Stanford University. It is also emphasized in academic arena. Teachers are also to be told that they need to practice growth mindset in the classroom as well. You also mentioned that machine or AI cannot replace soft skills. This is one of the area we need to re-emphasize in our workspace, because AI is replacing everything, but they won't be able to replace soft skills. So it is another area to emphasize on. And finally, you wrapped up with the session with the how we can develop soft skills, especially we emphasize on self-reflection. There are so many self-reflection ways. There are so many self-reflection apps right now. Digitally, you can also maintain that. You have always diary and pen and diary. You can also self-reflect, track your self-reflection daily, on a daily basis. You also mentioned about training, which has been provided by many of our organizations, including HRDI. You also mentioned about observing others, what impressed you. This is also important. We learn from ourselves by watching, by replicating others' impressive behaviors, impressive ways of expressing their soft skills. And finally, you talked about practicing, but practice makes a man perfect. You just reverse it, that perfect practice makes a man perfect. And you also re-emphasize at the end that post-pandemic situation, there is no alternative. We need to have many soft skills, as well as we had an article in last week from Prothom Alo, Daily Prothom Alo, we seen that most of the patients are, yes, physically affected by COVID, but this COVID period, there are 3 times more people are affected mentally, emotionally, psychologically, where also we need to implement, address with soft skills. So thank you so much, sir. You had with us today for more or less 1 hour. Thank you for your time. I will ask you from my end. This is the end of the session. I'll ask you to end the session, to close the session with your last words or last sentence, sir.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ejaz. I'm very pleased that you invite me for this webinar session, and I am also very happy that I can, although I'm so far, but I can contribute something for our Adaptability International University. That is always in my mind. That is always in my heart. I'm trying myself here now. Probably I was an academician for so long. Now I'm working in the industry, and I try to connect my academic knowledge and industrial knowledge together. And hopefully one day I'll come back and I'll see you again. And best wishes for you all. And I am always open for you. Anytime you can contact me. And if time permits, obviously we'll see you again. And the most important thing is convey my all the heartfelt gratitude to all my students and whoever actually serving in Dapol right at this moment. Thank you very much. Sorry.
So thank you everyone who are watching us and who will be watching this recorded version of live session. We had with us Iftekhar Amin Chowdhury, expert in international business operations, who is also a corporate trainer and management consultant, who joined us today from Sweden. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum,
Thank you very
everyone.
much. Alaikum assalam.